5, we be lit. It's a unique hustle, big shit.
Check it, these niggas. It's your boy ECO. I'm here with the lovely, amazing, official Miss Jamaica. What's up?
None, you know my dad well gone. I want y'all to stop what you're doing right now. Go like, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms. What I mean, all. Our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it. We're on it. Just Google us, Boss Talk Podcast 101. We pop up first in line, I guarantee you. But y'all see us on the street and talk about, man, I love what y'all doing. Keep up the good work. How can we support the brand? This is how you can support the brand. It's under each and every video, including this one right here in the description section. There's a link that says join our membership. Click that link, follow all the instructions, because that's where you're going to see all the exclusive content that y'all be like, where's this interview? Where's that interview? That's where it is. You have to be a member to see this interview. Thank you in advance, and we love you.
Man, check it, man. I got a guy here today. He don't need no introduction, man. Y'all all know him. You've seen him on multiple major platforms, including Boss Talk 101. My guy, Pimpin is in the building. What's up, baby?
Hey, man, airplanes and white bitches.
How you doing, man? What you doing in Dallas, Texas?
Well, man, you know, my manufacturer, the guy that's the director of clothing for the hip hop fraternity, he's in San Antonio. So he just mass produced a lot of our T-shirts. So he was able to meet me here, and plus, you know, I wanted to. We got a distribution deal, actually a record deal on table for Mike Fresh. I want to talk to him personally and explain to him what the situation is that we about to do with my man DIDDY down there in Atlanta.
Wow, man, you know. This one of them I'm gonna speed and everybody gonna get to hear your opinion on what's been going on in the news. The biggest thing that hit the news and everybody went frantic over it was Jay-Z accused of sexual assault, a rape. They didn't say a rape of a 13-year-old girl. This is what they're saying, and it is pretty much it's screaming across the airwaves of the media. It's everywhere. You can't turn your phone on without Jay-Z or the lawyer or something being said. Tell me, what do you think about this? And I remember you saying this before, that they was on his heels already.
Well, you know, in all things, man, history is best recorded to reward all studies, right? So I tell people oftentimes, man, you know, you got to go back in time to really understand the relationship between African Americans and white supremacy. You know, there's a big problem when it comes to African Americans doing well, because it's counterproductive to white supremacy. White supremacy means that the white man is superior and that the black man is inferior. So whenever a black man do something that's superior, it's a contradiction to the psychology and the mentality that is fostered and forwarded, you know, by certain demographics and certain specific people in society, right? Not saying that all white people are white supremacists, but there is a selected group of people that have a vested interest in seeing African Americans do really, really bad. And so the last time I was on your show, as you just accurately stated, I pretty much enunciated that there will be charges on certain individuals, and I didn't mean to jinx, and I knock on wood because I don't want to say nobody else's name. I didn't mean to jinx Jay-Z, but I just knew because of history, right? Me studying history and COINTELPRO and what they did to Jack Johnson and, you know, Reconstruction. I don't know if people understand what Reconstruction is. Well, in 1865, a gentleman by the name of Abraham Lincoln, who was one of our presidents, he so-called freed the slaves through Emancipation Proclamation. And during that period, a 12-year period, it's called Reconstruction. You've seen a lot of black ex-slaves become senators and judges and politicians, and they did really well for 12 years. And then after that, you had what they call Jim Crowism, you know, the White Citizen Council and the Ku Klux Klan. And they said at that point that, you know, no nigga in America will be respected. So that's the problem. So I'm gonna tie it into Jay-Z.
Yeah, because I'm trying to understand. Like, they gave him, he had $1 billion. These billionaires are being brought down. Allegedly, he had $1 billion.
Okay. Let's not focus on Jay-Z, right? Let's focus on 3 billionaires being dismantled. Remember I told you about the 3 Ds: discredit, destroy, and demonize?
Yeah.
3 billionaires in 1 year has been dismantled.
Oh, I know two of them.
Jay-Z, Kanye, and Puffy. What is the odds? If you was to be in Las Vegas and you say that 3 billionaires would be dismantled, would be totally decimated or totally discredited in 1 year, the odds would probably be 1 billion to 1.
That's right.
So why aren't there 3 white billionaires dismantled? What's up with Jeff Bezos? He ain't got no freakiness in him? You mean to tell me that my man Mark Zuckerberg, he don't freak it out? He don't look at porn? He ain't got no freaky? He ain't never had a freak off? You know, these guys ain't never had freak offs. I mean, the odds of them not having freak offs is impossible because money make you weird. You know, a lot of money make you weird. Jay-Z and Puffy ain't the only people allegedly doing these type of things. You know, we seen it with Epstein. We seen it with Weinstein. Yeah. You know, and Epstein. So, you know, we know that weirdness. We seen it within the Catholic Church. Yeah. You know, look how many priests have been accused of pedophilia, you know, molestation. You know, so we know that freakiness is in a lot of people. But ironically, and I told you this last time I talked to you, I said Bill Cosby, I said people should have came to Bill Cosby aid. They should have came to my man R. Kelly aid. When they see how quick we is to just throw our hands up and just say, get them, because of envy and jealousy, and because, you know, in our community, you know, we tend to demonize our brothers and sisters that are very successful. You know, we tend to, you know, yeah, man, get him. You know, it's by time. You know, he don't do nothing for the hood anyway. And we see. So that when they seen that, they started they dismantling them because they see how quick our people is to not to say crucify him. Crucify him, whether it's R. Kelly, whether it's Bill Cosby, whether it's Jay-Z, whether it's Puff Daddy, whether whoever it is, Kanye, the blacks get behind that and they amplify the word, we're against him, kill him off, we don't need him. He did it. He definitely did it. But let's be fair. As African Americans who operate at a disadvantage in this country, we have to be extremely cognizant and aware of the things that we do. We got to understand history. We got to understand what happened to the Black Panthers, Huey Newton, Everett Cleavage, you know, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. You know, they had FBI files on Martin Luther King. You know, they actually sent his wife, you know, secret letters and secret relationships that he was having with other women. You know, these people, you know, they have a vested interest. You know, and Donald Trump, we know he done had plenty of secret relationships. They said the Russians might even have a sex tape on Donald Trump. That's what they've been saying. That's why he's so. That's why he curried favor to my man Putin. You know, this is what people saying allegedly, right? So what I'm saying is that if they doing it on that level, Jay-Z, Puffy, Dr. Dre, Kanye, Rihanna, Beyonce, they have to be extremely careful. Oprah Winfrey, you know, look what they're doing to the brother T.D. Jakes. You know what I'm saying? Dude just coming, getting on the line, talking about he slept with T.D. Jakes.
I seen that, you know, man. Like how much truth is it? He says that he didn't say he slept with him. He said he acted as if T.D. Jakes tried to make a pass at him. T.D. Jakes, after this, you see him, he almost, he had a slight situation. I don't know if it was a stroke. I don't know what it was, but he kind of dozed out, you know, like right there. Like, what did it look like to you when you seen how he?
Well, you know, I mean,
his health-wise.
T.D. Jakes have benefited immensely from no scrutiny in the public. He's been basically depicted as an angel, a man of God, right? So he never had this happen to him. So when you're a man of God, or you're a man of stature, a man of value, of valor, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of things that you tend to work out psychologically, because we all narcissists. The fact that you say you're not a narcissist means that you are a narcissist. So we all have narcissistic traits, right? So one of the things that a narcissist can't handle is criticism. You know, because especially when, you know, the narcissism is working for you, right? Is actually you're benefiting from it, you know. And a lot of times, you know, people don't understand that success comes from attention. You know, the more attention you are, the more attention you get, more successful. The bigger Michael Jackson's attention was, the more successful. The biggest artist's attention is the more successful. So as you get in this attention, you know, you adopt certain things. You know, one of the things you adopt is narcissism. So I think that when a narcissist is not being fed, you know, the accolades and the praises that he or she, you know, generally, you know, want, I think that causes a lot of stress.
And you think that's what happened with T.D. Jakes?
Yeah, I think he was just stressed out. And I also think that, you know, it's hard for him to fall from grace. You know, a lot of people, that's why you see me selling DVDs out my trunk. That's why you see me selling cologne. That's why you see me in the hood all the time, because I don't never want to build my castles in the sky, because as soon as you open the door, you got a long fall. My mama said never build your castles on the sand, because as soon as a strong wind comes, it blow it away. You got to stay rooted. Like I said, if you ain't humble, you'll crumble. Your worst amigo is your ego. So I think that a lot of these successful people, when they get to this level, they don't know how to, you know, stay humble. They don't know how to stay rooted.
But when you're talking about T.D. Jakes, and the only reason I'm, you know, speaking about him is because he's a man of God, and I've seen his sermons so many times. And when you're supposed to have faith in God, which I know he do, I know we're all human, so we are going to stress every now and again. But you know that you leave God to fight your battles. So with saying that, you shouldn't be stressing over things of the world. You're supposed to know that God got your back. You understand what I mean? So he should not let all of this worldly stuff get to him. I understand that you might care about, when you're on the pedestal, like what you're saying, you might care about what other people think, because you have so many people looking up to you. But in due time, if God is fighting your battle for you, the truth will be revealed, because each of us have to go through what we have to go through for a reason. You just have to withstand. That goes back to the narcissism,
Miss Jamaica. You know, just because, you know, your punishment has been delayed don't mean that God wink at your wrongdoing. You know, everything we do will be registered in the book of registry. God, Allah, whatever you call him, Jehovah, he will deal with you eventually. And sometimes the Bible says, you know, your gift is without repentance, right? You know, God reigns on the just as well as the unjust. So a lot of times these preachers, right, and these men of power, they think that because, you know, they haven't been, you know, their punishment has been delayed, that means that the arm of God is weakened. No, God will bring wrath on you. He will bring a retribution on you. And a lot of times, you know, and this is what hurts me more than anything, Miss Jamaica. It's not the acquisition. It's not the accusations. It's not what happened. It's the fact that a person could reach that statue and slip. You know, and T.D. Jakes says this all the time. He said, don't never let a temporary situation cause a permanent problem. You know, you have to be cognizant. You have to be aware. You got to know your surroundings. The one thing that I do in my life is I always become a coach in my life.
One thing I can say, you know, the one thing I'm a person that believe in Christ, and not the white Christ, but the right Christ. I believe in the deity of God, you know, and I really, when I look at, even he fell, you know, to where he became, you know, weak in the flesh. He said, take this cup away from me. You see what I'm saying? When you think about that part of it, somebody can fall in the flesh or be caught up in the flesh enough to where they can get discouraged. I know we talk about faith, but the flesh is something that we trying to figure out how to pretty much avoid and be led of the spirit. So if you fall short, you know what I mean, a just man get back up 7 times. So you know, if you fall, you got to get back up again. The word of God continuously tell you that you're going to fall. But when you fall, it's a verse that say, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. So you're going to fall. You got to know that you got to get back up.
That is the beauty of the Christian faith, that you can repent. And T.D. Jakes even said this in his sermon the week after he was accused of the P. Diddy stuff. He said, even if I did do it, all I got to do is repent. Y'all remember that? He had a red suit on.
Yeah, that was,
you know what I'm saying? So we you remember that.
That was last Christmas.
So we understand that he understand the ramifications of his actions, right? He know that all he has to do is repent. But what I say is that before you had come in, I was saying that I live like a coach. What that means is you got to have an out-of-body experience. So say, for example, if Michael Jordan never had Phil Jackson, he would have never knew his flaws. So sometimes when you can't just be engrossed or so entrenched in yourself where you don't sit back and give yourself a checkup from the neck up. Sometimes you got to really just say, hey, you know what I'm saying, me, Ken, get out the game. You know what I'm saying, Ken, you slipping. Ken, don't hang around them people. I have to be my own coach. You have to be your own supervisor. Sometimes you got to supervise yourself. People say, man, how did you stay out of prison over 35 years? I said, because I'm my own probation officer. I put myself up. I don't hang around guns. I don't smoke weed. I don't do cocaine. I don't even do alcohol. I don't do anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't hang around people that's, got trap houses or anything like that, because I know I'd be revoked. My probation would be revoked. So if ain't no probation there, then I would be charged with a crime. Whether my probation charged me or whether the actual district attorney or the attorney general charged me. So you just have to, D.D. Jakes, man, period, had no business hanging around P. Diddy, hanging around nobody that ain't about God. You know what I mean? Period. You know what I'm saying? And I know you say, well, how can you save people if you don't hang? We got to go into this here. I ain't saying don't save them or don't minister to them. What I'm saying, you don't want to hang out at no party because people are going to misjudge you. People are going to, the Bible said, don't let your good deeds be, what? It's not coming out, but I know it's something about don't let your good deeds be misspoken of. Yeah, that's what the Bible says. So that's actually what happened. Now, we got an example of men who fall from grace. We got an example of what happens, when all hell come down. And that's Job. God said, have you considered my servant Job? What was he saying? He said, Job lost everything. So even in great ministry like T.D. Jakes, there's going to be an escalator. What goes up must come down. The same thing, same people you meet going up, same people going down. But if you coach and you supervise your life, even Jay-Z, if what happened allegedly with the little 13-year-old girl, if he would have came in that room, he seen something going on. As a sharp-minded person, the only thing you could do is just walk out the room.
And let me just say, man, I pray that T.D. Jakes is well. I pray for his family, and I pray for all of the things that's going on around him. That the people that are all pretty much respectful of him and what they feel is true in him. I feel like that's something that if that helps a lot of people, then I want it to continue to help him. If it hurts, then he got to pay the price. You reap what you sow. But I hope he gets better. But going back to Jay-Z, Jay-Z is one of those guys that, when they was over there, him, Meek Mills, Kevin Hart, all of them was over there. They all had bigs. All of them had little wine bottles. Little champagne, and everybody was hanging out, and they were having great times together. And then when you seen Diddy go through his thing, it was a fallback. Everybody fell back. Nobody said nothing. No unity. See, my biggest deal with this is hold on. My biggest deal is this. If there was a little bit, Farrakhan said our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb.
But that's hood shit. How many times?
You understand what I'm saying? Unity.
But let me tell you, you come from the game, right? The streets. Every time a nigga get indicted, what you do? You
ain't talking to it.
That's bullshit. You can expect Jay-Z. I would've did the same thing. I'm like, shit, man. He got indicted. I'm out of here.
But you gotta understand, back in the day, it wasn't. You would have a little bit more of a unity. Back when the Black Panther movement, there's been a falling away here lately. I'm telling you, it didn't used to be this way.
Because like I'm gonna use my organization for example. Can't nobody deny that we didn't fed the kids for 4 years straight. Can't nobody deny we let the kids perform every Monday free. Sometime when too much is given, much is expected. When you reach a certain plateau in the community, it is incumbent upon you to make sure that you feed that community and that you build that community and give that community something, whether it's financial literacy, whether it's some type of philanthropy or something you have to give back to the community. And that's what we do at the hip hop fraternity. So I'm saying, when you don't do that, I'm saying, hey man, you already know. And I'm not being facetious. I'm not laughing at Jay-Z or nobody, but sometimes, man, when you don't build communities, you don't build infrastructures, around your power, what I'm saying? What happens is, certain people, they relish in your fall. You know, people they happy to see you go because everybody in Brooklyn go like, that nigga ain't never done nothing for me. And the ones he done something for, they gonna say, that's my nigga. Yeah, you know, he done something for me, but you got to do something. When you got a B or a couple Bs, you want to do something for the entire community.
Yeah.
You know, you need, like right now, I'm trying to come up with a gym, you know, to help the young people. I want to come up with a, you know, we raising money to build a, what you call that, a rehab. You know, we want to help people that's on drugs. You know, we want to deal with the community because we see that problem. A lot of people is on fentanyl, heroin. That's a serious problem in our community. We want to deal with that. We want to do a food drive. You know, so that's what we're doing, and we don't have nowhere near B. You know what I'm saying? But we're doing this, and we trying to bring the community in and get the community and Reverend Seymour, all of us. You know, we all come together. We fit to form. We fit to get the teachers to volunteer their time. We fit to get preachers to volunteer their time. We fit to get people to volunteer, you know, coaches and stuff like that to help us with these kids, because hip hop ain't just about the music. It's also about the culture, right? You know, jazz was a culture. You know, you had bebop, that was a culture. You know, you had rhythm and blues. You know, rhythm and blues originally was called race music. Did you know that?
No. I got to ask you about that, because I got a guy that I had on here, one of her fellow people from Jamaica, Ras Haja, and he said that R&B originated from
Jamaica.
No, London.
Well, the R&B is rhythm and blues.
That's what I see.
But you know, the original term for R&B was race music. You know, and then
where did that come from?
That's from going through slavery.
It was black folks.
Yeah.
You know, like you remember, way in the water. That was rhythm. You know, so rhythm. Where did rhythm come from? It comes from an African thing called call and response. So in Africa, they say woo 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 woo, and somebody be like woo 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 woo. So it's called a call and response, and that's when you see preachers be preaching, and the Lord said, and everybody gets shout, they humming. Well, that's call and response. That's something that comes out of our culture. The drum come from Africa. You see what I'm saying? You can't have rhythm and blues without the drum. So it's culturally it comes from our people. You know, I actually
see that. Shout out to Ras Haja.
But what city? I know it came back from back then.
It's in the South for sure.
Oh, so you want me to get the breakdown?
Yeah, I want to get the breakdown of exactly where did it come from. Where did it start?
You ever heard of big band music?
Yes,
that was in New Orleans. So it was big band music, and then you know it went into jazz, and then you went into rock and roll, which is really rhythm and blues too. I don't know if y'all know that. And then it got into rhythm and blues, but at some point it was called race music. But you know you had the big band, and the big band was like, you know, a lot of African Americans in New Orleans, they had a little rhythm thing going on back then. And then, you know.
So they started it way before.
Well, you know, black music, it had transition. Every time, you ever watch those old movies with Fred Astaire and Frank Sinatra? You see how they be popping and dancing, acting like they black? Well, they would get that from the people in New Orleans. And then they would bring it to Vegas and they would act like it was their music. So traditionally, like Kenny G, you know, if we ain't wise, in 3 years, Kenny G will be black, because people don't understand, you know, who Coltrane was. They don't understand who Miles Davis was. You know, Dizzy Gillespie. There was a lot of things going on back in African American music back then that people don't know that generated. But it all started from the culture. It all started from our sojourn in America and our struggles, right? So, but what happened was the only thing that popped was hip hop. So when you look at hip hop, billions of people listen to hip hop in America, but I mean around the world. But it's only a small demographics of African Americans in the country. I mean, totality, we only 13% of the country. But
would you say hip hop is the biggest genre for African Americans?
Well, what I would say is that everything that we did was the big genre. Michael Jackson was a big genre. You know, John Coltrane was a big genre. Miles Davis, you know, big band. You know, all. Well,
they're not a genre. They're just.
I mean, what I'm saying, it was a genre of music. You know, it was still, you know, whether it's R&B, whether it's
big.
You know, it was a genre. Just mean R&B or rhythm and blues.
Right.
You know, so we always had. African Americans always been big in some aspect of that,
in
right?
whatever genre.
Yeah, every genre. But hip hop is the only thing that popped. it actually became the new Black Wall Street because it created a lot of billionaires and an untold amount of millionaires. So that was the thing that focused and really worked for us. Even like I was listening to one of the Secretary of States. He said, man, when I go to Guam or I go to Philippines, they ask me about Snoop Dogg. They ask me about 50 Cent. So hip hop is also part of American foreign policy now. That's how entrenched it is in the culture. But initially, it was put out to back to what we was talking about earlier with Jay-Z. It was initially put out to destroy the African American community through debauchery and through negativity. Because whenever, let me finish here. Whenever you got somebody talking about something, I shot that nigga, I pulled the switch, I killed him, F that, bitch this, hold that. You know what I mean? That is not typical language. I mean, if you say that at your mama table, she gonna slap you upside your head. But you got record labels pushing and promoting and propagating this filth and debauchery, and at the same time, they didn't understand that it was also being inculcated into their children. So they made a lot of money, but they also created a lot of people in a big demographic that initially didn't exist. And because of that, even the crumbs that Jay-Z and P. Diddy and all of them made end up being billions.
I wanted to ask you about earlier this year. We kind of tend to forget because so much stuff happened, but Yo Gotti's brother got killed down in Memphis, and when he got killed, that's Yo Gotti, he kind of runs under Jay-Z. That's who he beat. That's his mentor. That's they always they was together at the party with as well. Like when you see what happened and how them boys got up in court and said that they was paid by CMG to take out
by Big
by
Jip?
Dolph, yeah.
Oh, well,
when you see them saying this stuff and making these statements in court and all this stuff going down, how do you measure that? Like, how could they say all of these things and convict all of these people? And is this a thing where did Big Boogie take the fall for this whole situation, or is it over?
I just did something, when Big Meech came on, I did a PSA. I said, Big Meech, live your life like you're on trial. I said, you don't want to talk about no old business and you don't want no new friends. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because what people do is they come out, they're like, man, I'm down with Boss Talk, man. You got any problem with niggas, man, let me know, man. I'm down them niggas. And, you'll be a damn fool to allow them to go commit a murder or do anything for you because they only acting out of impulse, emotionalism, right? And most of these guys, they're raised by women, so they got a lot of emotional tactics and emotional traits. So once they get in jail and they get up under that interrogation and they get up under them white men that don't do nothing but sit down there and manipulate and get to talking about your kids and ask you, do you want a cigarette and all that stuff, man. Hey, man, you might be that tough dude on the street, but hey, man, you're going to fold like a briefcase under that pressure. And that's what happens. And, they start telling because they want to go home. They want to go home now. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking about their baby mama. They're thinking about their kids. And they tell them, like, don't you have a 2-year-old son? Don't you have a baby mama? How you think Shanika going to feel? She would really appreciate if you blah, blah, blah. And it's all game. And they understand how to manipulate these young men because these men, they train and they good at killing and they good at, sneaking up on people and stuff like that, but they'll have no knowledge and they'll have no education when it comes to dealing with people who don't do nothing but sit back and break people for a living.
And that's why we see all of the chip falling when you see them go to this courtroom. Yeah. And they start telling everything.
And the same thing gonna happen with P. Diddy. And like we don't even like I told you on your show before, we haven't even looked at we haven't even seen because think about it, right? How did they get P. Diddy? They said anyone who wants to file a lawsuit against your perpetrator, you have 1 year to do it. Well, people don't understand, and I be in court a lot when it comes to civil court because I deal with a lot of businesses and stuff like that. In civil court, they got what you call depositions. You depose the person, right? And to depose, you're under oath. So you're sworn to tell the truth, on the Bible. So when you telling the truth, what motivates the truth more than money? So if somebody say you're going to get extra amount of money, they're going to put a little sauce on it, they're going to put a little extra on it. And once that is said and that becomes a public record, then it's called an FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They have a duty to investigate federal crimes wherever they may be committed. You know, so even if you do, and that's what happened with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby said, "Hey man, they told me I got total immunity." They said not for criminality, you know, for the civil side of your case, but there was some criminal. You admitted to some crimes in this civil case. So you know, that's what sparked the Diddy's case. They went and got a search warrant. The judge granted the warrant. They found evidence. The FBI, the Attorney General, took before the grand jury. The grand jury, you know, approved it, and it became a criminal case. Now, what you got to understand is that these folks is playing chess because it's P. Diddy, because it's Jay-Z, because it's probably a whole lot of other celebrities. They tread lightly. You understand what I'm saying? They're not using the same popcorn tactics they would use on me. They knew about this Jay-Z issue way before, you know, that this lawyer know. I mean, you know, they know about all the stuff that's going on. It's got a whole bunch of stuff that's going on that's transpired that we're going to see come out. And y'all going to be shocked. Just like I did not predicted that they might be trying to hate on Jay-Z. Did I predict that on your show? You remember that?
Well, let me ask you this, and there's something that came out earlier. Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, liked the post where Jay-Z's had a rape lawsuit, right? Mm-hmm. Now she's coming back and said somebody hacked her.
Hey, that's what everybody said.
Or she probably was scrolling and accidentally clicked like and not realized
just
she clicked
on that
like.
one?
Just on that one. We don't know if she clicked like on something else by accident.
Well, all I know is she's saying she didn't, you know, she got hacked. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know.
She said she didn't do it, man.
Well, you know, man, it's going to be a lot of things that come out. I mean, we ain't even seen the beginning of what's about to happen. But like I said, the main thing is that all my brothers and sisters out there that are successful, just realize, man, you know, Jay-Z had a song, OJ, okay, you know what I'm saying? I mean, still nigga, you know what I mean? You still nigga, and you know, Kanye found that out, you know, P. Diddy found it out, and you know, I just hope that Jay-Z can swindle through this. You know, I mean, Jay-Z is one of my favorite rappers. I really listen to Jay-Z when I'm on the highway doing a lot of traveling. And, you know, he's been very smart, and a lot of us pattern a lot of our tactics behind Jay-Z.
Well, let me just say this, man. Nobody care about you listening to Jay-Z, because I'm going to be honest with you. People listen to R. Kelly, they still locked him up for 30 years. No matter about who you listening to.
No, that ain't what I said. No, that ain't what I'm saying.
What I'm saying, you listen to the nigga don't mean he ain't going to the penitentiary if he did something wrong.
If it's true, I'd be very disappointed. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you.
You know,
he's just a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, that might not even be a situation that... See, sometimes people will play their card just to make another move happen. Think about it. They may just be doing that to see how all these other folks go. They shaking the bush.
What the internet is saying, that Jay-Z and P. Diddy was extremely close. And
they are. You see all the pictures.
And they were saying that all the stuff that Diddy did and that's coming out and all the allegations, you know, they saying that, you know, it would be, Jay-Z would be hard pressed to say that he didn't know nothing about nothing. So, you know, I think that him, you know, in all those relationships, they said when P. Diddy got caught, everybody ran for the hills. You know, I think that, you know, man, Malcolm said it best, man. It's just the chicken coming home to roost. You know, and a lot of people, man, they just got to make sure that if they did do anything, that they cover their tracks. Because if they didn't, hey, man, if the FBI don't indict you, the internet going to definitely indict. The internet I didn't see how these people, I didn't see people on the internet, academics and all them, all y'all break down cases. I'm like, man, how the hell they know all that?
But the difference is, for the whole thing that I'm seeing, because I remember when all of that came out against Diddy or anybody else, they'll be quiet and try to fight it in court. But as soon as this came out, Jay-Z jumping up and he responding. So ASAP. So it's almost to the fact where it's like, I ain't got nothing to hide. I ain't, done nothing wrong.
I heard something on the internet. They said if Jay-Z would have been smart, he would have settled the case. Because I think that was the problem that P. Diddy made. If he just gave Cassie, he gave her money, this would have never happened. But when you try to,
maybe because he's trying to say that he's innocent, just like Jay-Z. He's like, if I give her some money, it's almost saying like I'm guilty.
No, because they would have did it would have been a non-disclosure agreement, and they would have never found out. But sometimes they say a guilty man know no boundaries. A lot of times, I think one lawyer was saying that the fact that he did came out and his lawyers let him say his statement is testimony that they don't know what they're doing. He said, because your client should never say anything, because anything you say would be held against you in a court of law. So Jay-Z lawyers, if they advised him or if he went against his lawyer's advice, that was a bad move. Because
so you don't think he should have said anything at all? Hey
man, my mom used to always say, no news is good news. You can't try to litigate, or you can't try to go in trial in public. You can't do that. You can't talk. My mom used to always say, a fish that don't talk never get caught.
But for me, the thing that I see about Jay-Z, because I've heard other people say other things about Jay-Z, and he's never ever came out and made any statements. This is the first time
you see what I'm saying?
I've ever seen him jump up and make a statement about anything.
My name is H to the O-V-E God. Y'all don't understand what's going on here. In his mind, he feel like he can deal with whatever.
Well, you know what?
In his mind.
Then why would he say something this time?
He said something because he felt like he wanted to say something.
But E, if you understand psychology, right? You know what I'm saying? You know that when the pressure's on, and certain things is said, like even give you an example, in an interrogation room, they're gonna say certain things about the crime and they was never there, right? You know what I mean? They're gonna say, then you tie them up and you did all this and this and the other. And if you guilty, you gonna try to, man, I don't know, but I ain't do nothing, man. I ain't tie nobody up. You know what I'm saying? Me, or, what you talking about? So a lot of times,
if you smart, if you a real street nigga,
don't say shit.
Well, no, they give you a cigarette. Listen, I'm well known about this. They give you a cigarette and they come talk to you, and they say, man, we got you. Look right here on the camera.
Hey, man, James.
Wait a minute. They say, we got you. Look right here on the camera. And if you a real stomp down nigga, you look at it and you say, man, take me back to my cell. Man, I ain't got nothing to say. Take me back to my cell, nigga. What is y'all talking about?
Hey, your wife said it best. People been talking negative about Jay-Z for years.
He ain't saying nothing.
He ain't said nothing. The fact that he said something gonna raise eyebrows. He shouldn't have never said anything. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z, listen to me. If you don't listen to nobody, man, whatever you say will be used against you in a court of law. And never ask the laws to prove it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you say, well, if I commit a crime, then why am I being charged? Don't never say that, because you're giving them probable cause to look into the situation. I mean, you just got to be smart, and I'm saying this really to somebody else. Jay-Z probably ain't paying me no attention. But, to the people out there that's, involved in any type of situation, man, and you can see that through Thug. Even though Thug was guilty probably than two left shoes, and he pleaded guilty to the two left shoes. At the end of the day, had he pleaded guilty or had he talked initially, he would have never been able to get out, period. He probably would have spent the rest of his life in jail. So when you don't say nothing, that's the leverage that you get from, the system. So, that's my position on Jay-Z. I would never say nothing.
Why you say never say, because that was what I was thinking about before you even went into all of that, is how can they prove it? Because this happened, it was a 13-year-old young girl, however long ago. What sort of evidence could she have from back then that far that she never went to the police with before now? What evidence? And why shouldn't a person say, okay, prove it then? Why shouldn't a person say that?
But you're talking about 20 years ago, Miss Jamaica.
Right.
I bet you if Jay-Z was in that room, hypothetically speaking, if he was in that room, he probably don't remember.
Exactly, because that's the same thing we were talking about. Like,
so the young lady, because she's the victim, she can remember, and the people that was in the room probably could remember. And Lord forbid, if Puffy was in the room for real, and it actually happened the way she said she happened, now Puffy probably didn't remember, and now you gave Puffy, if he decided to go bad, you gave him a way of corroborating her story.
So if she says, okay, so if Puffy doesn't say anything, right? And Jay-Z doesn't say anything, but she says, well, this is what happened 13 years ago, and it's just her words. She has no proof to say that, no video, no nothing to say that this is what actually took place. Can they throw him under the bridge and lock him up for something like that?
No, I mean, they would have to, I'm trying
to figure it out.
I don't think that the laws would probably take this case because it's so old and it's still here. He say, she say. So I don't think that, I don't think Jay-Z faces any serious criminal implications, but I think where Jay-Z may be suffering or probably suffer at is his endorsements and his businesses, right? I think he's going to suffer because
people don't want to be associated with an allegation.
And everybody's going to take the side of the alleged victim. So that's going to create a whirlwind, and people are going to start dropping out in a few months. They're going to be like, man, no, we can't, it's too much. And the media is not going to let it go because Jay-Z too big of a fish, and he going to create a lot of, eyeballs. He's going to get a lot of attention. Anybody that carry the story, they're going to guarantee get 1 million or 2 million views. So that's one of the things that he's going to have to deal with.
And the part that I
don't think criminally that he would probably be, charged.
The part that I was wondering about, or not even say worried about, because it's not my life, right? But the same thing is the fact that when somebody have the guts to step up, and even if they might not be able to, get him arrested or anything like that, if there are others that might give them the courage to start, because the same thing happened with Puff Daddy, where one stepped up and then all of a sudden others start coming out. It just take that one.
The only thing I hate about that is the fact that a lot of people, right, they be in consensual situations. They consent.
And that's the thing I hate the most.
To the relationship. And then all of a sudden, it become monetary. It's a monetary value connected to the situation. And then people want to act like they didn't agree.
But a 13-year-old child, though, is...
But I'm not talking about a 13-year-old
child.
I'm talking about my partners who've been in relationships with their girlfriends, and their girlfriends catch them with another woman or catch them cheating. And then they call the police and they scream rape. I'm talking about women who cut themselves and hit themselves in the eye and then call the police and accuse the man of being the abuser. Those the type of people that I have a problem with, people that are vengeful and people that are, doing it for the money only, because, all these women that probably did have sex with some of these entertainers, some of that stuff was consensual and then women out there, quit looking at a man on TV as something superior or something different. He's just another man. So don't sell yourself short, and don't go out there and sleep with nobody. Don't sleep with Pimpin, don't sleep with P. Diddy, don't sleep with nobody because they famous. Because at the time, you dealing with a psyche. You know what I'm saying? You dealing with fanaticism. That's actually a disease, fanaticism. You fanatical and you want to be with this person and you think you love this person, you're infatuated. So what happens is you go sleep with that person and, you go tell her friend, that's my baby, I love him, woo, 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 woo. And then, you mature and you grow and you become older, and then you be like, oh man, he abused me. Because now you realize that you can profit from this alleged abuse when it was consent. And, so that's what we need to deal with too. We need to deal with a lot of these women out here that falsely accuse men, you know what I'm saying? And say that these men out here doing this and that, the other, and the third.
But what would you say about some of these young girls? Because I want to say young, I'm not talking about a 13-year-old that young and so forth. I'm even talking about, say, a 15, 16-year-old young girl who may look like she's 20-something or even have a fake ID to say she is older than what she is and try to talk to some of these older men and then turn around and say that, oh, I'm underage when it's beneficial.
And every man that's an artist, that's famous, that cheats on their wife or their girlfriend, then cheated with an underage woman, probably. Because a lot of these young ladies today, they put on makeup.
Exactly.
And they look a lot older than what they is. And I mean, I just seen men with makeup and they look like women. So I can imagine a young girl with makeup. You know, we was in a club.
But hold on, before you get to that, I spoke to my daughter recently about that, and we had a discussion about that. And she was telling me that she still blamed the men for the main fact that if these men took the time to sit down and have discussions with some of these young girls, you would realize that they're really 15 and 16 and not 21, 22, if you actually sat and had a discussion.
No more, because Miss Jamaica, let me tell you something. We older. So we dealing with an older mentality, right? So we was raised in the church. We was raised, you know, by good parents, and, you know, we had morals and principles. If you was from Lubbock, Texas, 30 years ago, you was a country nigga. If you was from some part of Mississippi, you was a country nigga. With the internet and the YouTubes, your man that I just interviewed. No, the guy that I just went down to Mississippi.
Oh, yeah, G-Money.
Yeah, Jim's. This man lived in so far the country. I was like, man, you know, I was about to turn around. But the man asked me some questions that only I would expect somebody like Charlamagne or somebody like E to answer me, because we live in a different time. So these kids are way smarter than when we were children. So a 18-year-old girl or a 16-year-old girl, she might have just as much knowledge as her mother. You could talk to people, they could tell you about the music business. And I'm like, man, I know this dude ain't never had no label, but they could talk about it because they on YouTubes all day. And YouTubes is the new educator. So, you know, everyone has a different barometer.
So you say you can't tell.
You can't tell because people are way more, there's no such thing as a country nigga no more. It used to be a country girl, a country nigga. That don't even exist anymore because everybody is advanced. You know, AI. You know what I'm saying? You don't even need to write your own letters no more. You can put it in AI, and you know, so you could do AI can actually give you the same quality of a lawyer type, you know, papers. And
I got to go back to Jay-Z one more time because I really want to ask you about, they say that this 13-year-old girl ends up at the MTV Awards. This is how crazy this sounds. And it says she was at the MTV Awards and she didn't go in, and then they had some people alleged that the bodyguard had something to do with getting her into this situation. Jay-Z or somebody, where he took her in, I don't understand where the bed come from. Like, it's just so many things happening so fast.
Because if
it's like,
where the parent is, a 13-year-old child, where's the parent?
He just said they could be dressing up and you don't even know.
13 though?
Yeah, 13.
But Miss Jamaica, the best way to look at that is go and look at a trainee, a homosexual, a trans, what they call it, transsexual. Transgender. And look at him before and after. Before he's a straight up man. After, he can look like a model or a woman. If makeup can do that for a man, what you think he can do for a 13-year-old girl who got breasts, who has developed bodies? You know, you won't be able to tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? And most of it, she 13 and she going to the party, she probably already lost her virginity. She probably having sex with everybody in the hood. So, you know, these are things that we tend to overlook. We don't look at the variables, the multiple variables that's connected to the situation, because there's a lot of variations of how this stuff can transpire.
Tony Busby, he says, I'm in Houston, and I want everybody to know, if you have an issue where you was at a Diddy party, or if you was at any party where these celebrities was at, please call me now. And we're going to figure this out. If you've been victimized, and now there's everybody coming and they're checking out what he had to say. Is Tony Busby trying to do a money grab with Jay-Z? Or what is he doing?
Well, he's definitely, all lawyers are ambulance chasers. You know, let's get it correct. You know, all of them, you know, they do that. That ain't uncommon with a lawyer. But I think the main thing that we have to understand is that it's not just the lawyer, it's the consensual people, you know, who gave these people consent, that's now saying that it was forced, you know. And how do you get the validity out of that? You know what I mean? How do you get the truth out of that when you weren't there? It's between Puffy and whoever his accusers are. It's between Jay-Z and whoever his accusers are. So it's hard to differentiate or to ascertain the truth for something of that nature. But because of who these people are, you know, they tend to settle quick because they don't want the public scrutiny.
They said it's a woman that was there too, a celebrity woman. They said they don't know.
But they said somebody said it could be Jennifer. You know,
I heard that too.
Yeah, so because I think Puffy and Jennifer was kicking at that time. Now, you know what we began to learn recently is that a lot of these people, man, you know, with money is sick. You know, they got a lot. I mean, a lot of them sick, man, and a lot of them have a lot of satanic ways. And a lot of times these people, you know, they be involved in stuff, man, that you and I would never be involved in. Because, you know, and I think, I don't know, man, you know, I ain't never had no $1 billion, but I don't know if money make you weird, you know, but the stuff they doing is very weird.
Beyonce, Jay said on the statement last night, he says, only thing I got to go home, I got to sit down with my family and tell them, because one of my children are old enough to where they're definitely going to hear about this in the media. He did say that last night. He wants you to know.
Did you hear what they said though?
What did they say?
The people, they said, yeah, well, you weren't thinking about that when you was talking about drug dealing and hustling and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That damn media, man.
Yeah, they was like, you weren't caring about your kids then. So, you know what I mean? You didn't sold our children a lot of death, and you sold our children a lot of negativity, and now all of a sudden, you know, it's important to your children. You know, so it's always a heads and a tail. It's a wall and the floor. It's a left and a right. It's two sides to everything. So I think that, you know, if you want to feel morality and you want to be a moral person, you know, you have to be moral all levels. You can't be moral. Sometimes you can't just be moral when it applies to you. You got to be moral when it applies to all of us.
But in this culture, they look at, okay, you mess around with an underage woman is way worse than rapping about guns and drugs and all of this stuff.
Oh, Jay-Z finna catch some hell behind this.
So that's why he said
this is not good.
That's why he said he got to go talk to his daughter. You know, of course, we know it's Blue Ivy he's talking about, but he got to go talk to his daughter because of that compared to his rapping about the guns and the drugs and all of that.
But I guarantee you, if you talk to one daughter, right, versus talking to millions of children who were influenced by rap music to go be drug dealers and to practice drill music and stuff like that, it's no comparison, you know. So it goes back to what I just said to your husband. It's just the roosters coming home to roost. I mean, you know, you send out stuff and it come back at you.
Have you ever had to go to court and on this type of magnitude? I've never faced nothing like this. I've never had these allegations because that's not my thing.
I don't mess with puppies.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't mess with puppies. I mess with underage women.
It's hard to understand the way that this thing is coming out, the way that they scheme it. You know, we look down on this. Even if you get locked up, we looking for that person to say, what type of nigga is this to do something like that? Like
we used to beat them up.
You gonna get hurt like that in prison.
Beat them up
you can't come in there and nigga trying to figure out what you done. That's the first thing nigga asking you, like, what you in here for? You know, if they don't know already. Most of the time they know already. So what am I saying? I'm saying, man, this here is a wild accusation. And will there be more celebrities, Pimpin' Ken? That will there be more after this situation? Will there be?
I predicted Jay-Z, and I'm gonna predict practically anybody that you've seen at those parties, they're probably complicit. And what do I mean by that? Is because the same people, if they're lying on Jay-Z and P. Diddy, they're gonna eventually lie on them as well. And I'm sure that when you at that level of engagement and you're around that type of activities, I'm sure that at some point, you know, you may have participated either consciously or unconsciously in a criminal activity. You know, and I think like Diddy, he didn't see nothing wrong with oil, you know, and rubbing oil down, whatever. He didn't know that was a crime, you know, but who would know that would be the leading discussion of the Attorney General? That, you know, he had all these thousands of bottles of oil. That would be the topic of discussion. So we don't know what's going on. We know that if you were at those parties and you committed any type of crime or you did anything that was fallacious or disrespectful or erroneous to any person's male or female, at those parties, that, you know, the probability, just like, go back to T.D. Jakes. The guy said that T.D. Jakes tried to kiss him, right? True or untrue? See what I'm saying? He said it. He said it. He said, this man tried to kiss me.
But he sued, isn't he? Didn't he go ahead and countersued for defamation of character because he said that?
He did.
Yeah, but you know what? The fact that he said it is pretty much proving my point. People gonna come forward and they're gonna say other things about other people. That's what I'm trying to say, Miss Jamaica, is that if you were at that party, then the probability of people coming in, like Jay-Z, it took a year. Now they saying some crazy stuff about him. You know, they gonna say some crazy stuff about this person. They gonna say some crazy stuff about that person. And everybody that was at that party, you know, they stand.
I don't think nobody else going.
Well, no, Ken, you was at you.
No, I wasn't at those parties.
What party was you at?
I was at a club, and Puffy threw a lot of parties in Atlanta, and they were club parties. I was never at a
house party.
I never been at one of his private parties.
But Jamie Foxx he's the one that helped run the parties. You saying that Jamie could be pretty much called out in this because he pretty much have been speaking out too.
Hey, one thing y'all can rest for sure: the way this stuff is playing out, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of big names that's going to be exposed. The way they moving, the reason why they not letting Puffy out, why would they let him out on a $50 million bail and put him, and he said he'd pay for a guard, you know, I mean, all this stuff, why wouldn't they do that?
But they're going after the two biggest people, like, who else are they going to go after? Because everybody else who they could possibly go after are going to be
Jamaica, we said that about Puffy 6 months ago. There's nobody bigger than Puffy. Now,
no, Jay-Z bigger than Puffy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But we said that Puffy ain't got nobody to tell on. We were saying all that stuff. Now we got Jay-Z. That's way bigger than Puffy. You know, got 11 Grammys. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. The saga just began. It's not over. You know what I'm saying? These people is going to destroy hip hop. The only thing that hip hop can do is join the hip hop fraternity. We the only moral organization that's gonna be left that can help the people in the community. I'm serious. You know what I'm saying? No, what you laughing, man? I'm serious, man. Now the hip hop fraternity is gonna be the only thing left. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else is gonna be, they're gonna be at some level brought down. Just like you said, the people is lying on. I don't know if they're lying or telling the truth about the big jig dude. You know
that's another thing. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what my point that I'm trying to make to you, E, is that everybody is being attacked. Kanye.
Young Thug can't even come out the house. He got 15-year probation, still probation. You can't even go to Atlanta.
But let's talk about that stuff. Let's talk about Kanye, one of the most brilliant minds and one of the most greatest producer ever in the history of hip hop. You know, let's talk about Kendrick Lamar. Let's talk about Drake. Look at Drake. Drake is suing Universal Music, and some people said that they said he benefited more from the same thing that he said that Drake did, that Kendrick is benefiting from, because if they did it with Kendrick Lamar, if they boosted his numbers, how many numbers they boosted on Drake? So these are the things that is starting to come out.
Do you think Drake got a case?
No, I don't think Drake got a case. What I'm saying is that he's got a case, but it's not a case. It's a petition. It's really not a lawsuit. But what he's petitioning, you know, it's kind of crazy because it can be taken a whole lot of ways, because payola, they say, is illegal. You know, if he's alleging that there was some type of payola, then that's a problem right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, on the people who are practicing payola. And then, of course, you know what the people are going to say. Well, Drake, you know, he did this.
He did it too.
He did this. You know, he exposed them. So, you know, you know, I'm pretty sure that but the only thing about that, suppose they say, yeah, well, you was involved in it too. The Universal, they crunch your numbers as well. So you got. It's just look at this, man. It's called the emasculation of the black man. You know, hip hop was created by us, and there's no better opponent for certain people than hip hop right now. They want to bring the whole. Look what's happening in hip hop and R&B. You know, just go all the way back to And then look what happened to boxing. You know, they indicted Don King every other week. You know, they locked Jack Johnson up. The first black champion in boxing went down for pimping. The Mann Act. You know, Tyson went down for rape. Look at the pattern. You know, look at the pattern of what's going on. And these are cases that are brought forth properly. The public is not going to be on your side. Man. Just like Miss Jamaica said, if they're accusing him of rape, it's probably analogous to taking a rock and throwing it to the moon and hitting the moon, that people is going to side, you know, with you on that type of scenario.
Well, Jay-Z demands that this young lady, that they show the name of this lady. Nobody knows. She'd be 37 now. She's 37 years old at this time. When this happened, it was 13. She was 13. This happened back 2000, I think it was something like that. But she'd be 37 when I calculated.
And that's another mistake. Because you know why?
He want the name.
But you know why that's a mistake?
Why?
Because once he requested the name, they have to give him the name. You know why? Because somebody else did the same situation, and in law it's called precedent. So it set precedent that somebody else, you know, in one of P. Diddy cases, P. Diddy asked for them to reveal the name. So now that she had to reveal the name. Now you have to face your accuser. And now it's going to even, you know, like I said, you know, I was just telling Miss Jamaica, when you out there in the streets, man, I walked up on a dude. I sold him a DVD about 10 years ago, you know. I walked up on him, and that man had pictures and videos of me and him, and I couldn't remember him for the life of me. I was like, bro, I don't remember. He said, man, we did this, da, 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 da. He remembered every detail. You know, when you a celebrity and you traveling all over the world and you doing concerts and stuff like that, you don't remember that stuff. But them people come up, you gonna really remember. You know, you're gonna really like, oh, okay. But you know, like I said, man, I think Jay-Z is innocent until found guilty.
Tony Busby say he ain't never asked him for a dime. He said that's not true. That's just
bullshit. He didn't ask him for a dime, but you know, if he asked for a mediation, you know what that means. Let's negotiate, man. Look, I got you. I got a person accusing you of rape. She was 13 years old. That's statutory rape. It's probably you know, I don't know if it's a statute, a limitation on that, you know. So he was hoping that Jay-Z was like, here, man, here, take $1 million or $2 million, and you know. But when they say, man, lawyers, man, are liars, you know.
Yeah,
lawyers,
yeah.
You can't believe nothing the lawyers say, man.
So
that motherfucker, you can't believe what that motherfucker said.
What's your worst experience with a lawyer? I know you got one.
Well,
you ain't got to say his name, but what happened?
Well, Attorney General, I had a situation where Attorney General tried to pull a move on me, and it was unmerited. You know what I'm saying? I understand why he was doing it, and so what I did is I took him to the appellate court, you know, and I filed my own appeal, and I challenged that lawyer. You know, and I took him to court. And so the Attorney General office, they put 5 lawyers on me, you know, but I understand, you know, the different rules, because in law is rules. So if you read the rules, then you can pretty much, you know, you have a process notice. You got to you got to serve people, you know, you got to have, you know, a certificate of conference, a certificate of interest. It's just certain terminologies and certain things you got to understand in law. And if I would have hired somebody, it would have cost me probably about $40,000. So I actually litigated the case myself, and I made it all the way to the appellate court. And they ruled against me because the hardest thing to do, even under Rule 32, which is called plain error, is to get a appellate court, a higher court to overrule the lower court, you know. So that was the only thing that they cited, you know, is that, you know, it had to be way more, you know, than what you presented, you know. And then I was talking about, I think it was, you know, like just certain things that had transpired. So that was the only time I had a bad experience with a lawyer. But, you know, all my lawyers that I hired, I never had a bad experience. It was always cool.
I want to ask you about, you know, you got to understand, man, when it comes down to Pimp C, I got to bring him up. I never let you come on my show and not say something about the Pimp. Pimp said a lot of things. Quit hating the South. He said, he was talking about he hit you ain't told songs since you said break them off. He was talking about Master P. He talked about a lot of different people in these songs, right? And unlike today's society, where Drake just filed charges against Kendrick Lamar for dissing him in a rap song, we never seen this happen back in the day. I just use Pimp because I know he done it. He'll get at you. Like, had you ever seen somebody, what did you think when you seen that he was filing charges against not only against Universal, but also Kendrick could namely be targeted as well for calling him a pedophile?
Well, in the pimp game, we say the game is watered down. It's like, man, ain't no more real pimping. I don't think that hip hop represents its original glory. When you go back to Pro Righteous Teachers,
Boogie Down Production,
yeah, and Public Enemy and stuff like that. Rap represented a certain thing. We had breakdancing and stuff like that, and you had battle raps and stuff like that.
LL Cool J, Kool Moe Dee, LL Cool J, Ice-T and Ice Cube. It could be
that shit is over,
Ice-T
man.
and Soulja Boy, anything.
Man, that shit is over with.
You can't say nothing on it. The internet that made it different.
Well, the money made it different. There's so much money involved. See, Drake is not really attacking Kendrick Lamar. His purse strings. He said, "You affected my money." Exactly. And then, a lot of people don't know. They think Drake is suing Universal, but what's really going on is that Drake, the last deal he got was $400 million, and now Drake is asking for $800 million because Drake is saying that I made you more money than Michael Jackson and Prince put together, and this is Drake's argument. He has a legitimate claim, and I think that he's really playing chess. And he's really trying to force the record label hand to say, "Look, man, let's just resolve this, and we'll give you the $800 million." Which he's really worth it. Because he sold a lot. He has the longest tenure in hip hop. The man been making number one music since his debut. So I think that he has a legitimate claim. And a lot of people looking at the sidebar, but the real reason why he's suing him is because he wants Universal to break him off some property because he feels that they have made billions and billions of dollars off of him, and he hasn't got his fair share of the proceeds.
How much impact is it when you have a guy like they have so many allegations against Meek Mills, right? And now he's stepping up saying stuff on Jay-Z's behalf, but people laugh, and you see it in the comments. They're not taking him serious. They talking about him.
Well, Jay-Z is the king. So a lot of them dudes, man, LeBron James, P. Diddy, all them dudes, they bow down to Jay-Z. Jay-Z is the king. He is the prototype for success in the culture. So a lot of people, when they look at Jay-Z, they look at how a lot of pimps look at me. A lot of pimps look like, man, Ken, he the godfather. You know what I'm saying? Dude got all the game. Dude busting the moves. Dude, he got Boosie a literary deal. He got Ice-T a literary deal. He brought HBO to Milwaukee. He brought the Hughes brothers. Ken. People look at me the same way they look at Jay-Z from the Pimpin. But on the hip hop, he is, the creme de la creme. He's the best ever did it. Got away with it. There's some greats. Like Puffy and 50. 50 actually.
50 been on him. He been on all of them.
But 50 is really.
No, 50 is on their head right now.
But let me say this. Let me be clear. 50 is my favorite because the reason why I like 50 more than I like anybody else, like for real, is not because he had me in the PIMP video, not because he was in my movie. That ain't the reason why I like him. The reason why I like him is because he give the underdog hope. The way he moved, man, what he did over there at Shreveport, man, that was monumental.
It was.
And
I talked to him about that. I was like, man.
To see a criminal, a dude that been to jail, to see a dude that, he used to pop that thing, he used to hustle on the block, to see him go over there and have all those mayors and all those city councilmen, all them people bowing down to him, man, dude, it was like, it was a player's dream.
But you can say the same thing about Jay-Z, not finishing high school, becoming a billionaire, going to the hood. He did these things already.
But Jay-Z benefited from something that 50 didn't benefit from.
What's that?
That was the death of Tupac and the death of Biggie.
Wow.
We was all looking for the next Biggie, the next Pac. So Jay-Z was our go-to man. We all got behind Jay-Z.
So he let us down?
No, I ain't saying
I didn't get behind him.
What I'm saying is that Jay-Z pretty much had a cheat code. 50 got the rich or die trying. He got out the mud. 50 is the only dude that everybody can look at too and say, look, man, the way he did it is the way I would like to do it. You know, do you know how 50 got his deal? He went to Theodore Sedemeyer, which was a lawyer that knew Rosenberg, which was Eminem lawyer, and he gave him a mixtape. The lawyer is your most trusted advisor. Rosenberg gave the tape to Eminem, and Eminem said, bring him to L.A. He went there, he got $1 million. You know, who does that? 50 Cent told Vitamin Water, I don't want money. I don't want no money. I want an equity deal. You know, he want 10%. He made $100 million off that move. I mean, just straight moves that he made. Now, Jay-Z, I say the same thing with me in the literary world. Anytime they want to sign a nigga, you know, if they don't get a white boy and they want somebody to go get somebody hood, they gonna call me. Simon Schuster gonna say, hey, go get what that nigga over there. Can you get him? But Jay-Z is their boy. I'm their boy in the literary, but Jay-Z is their boy in hip hop. That's why the NFL called him. That's why ULV, Louis Vuitton, Hennessy call him. All these people go to Jay-Z. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's the man. And he developed that way back when he was talking about Chloe glasses and jerseys. And you know, he been our man. He told us all to wear platinum, we wore platinum. You know, but 50 came in the midst of that. Mm-hmm. And Jay-Z told all his people, man, watch out for this guy named 50 Cent. Mm-hmm. 50 is coming. So we understand, you know, if Jay-Z, a man of that stature, can tell his people to watch out for 50 Cent, we know 50 Cent is a bad motherfucker. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He's the coldest, you know, and he's my friend. You know, I got emails with 50. You know, personal numbers, you know, I mean, we didn't kick it. You know what I'm saying? I've been on tour with 50.
But do you think, the reason I think 50 will be all right, because he been out here in the trenches, kind of like you, kind of like us. He didn't mind staying close to what was connecting the people. I don't think he's the type of person that, I don't think he got too high on the hog.
He was a real street dude. What he said, y'all niggas got at me, now I can hire some help. Remember I told you about Boosie catching the pistol case? Yeah. I said all Boosie had to do was...
Man, what you said on that, I went back and listened to it. I think I called you, or either I told my wife, then I said, man, Ken says, and it was just dynamic. Right, I said, he was right on point.
But see, but what I'm saying, that 50, you know he a real street dude, you know 50 cold, because 50 hired security guards, ex-police officers that can kill. He hired killers that was police officers that they would have killed somebody, wouldn't have been no... these your homeboys, you know, and he was smart enough to do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was smart enough to do that. If you look at all 50 moves and how he moved, you know, even when he decided to take certain people out of his midst, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was some street shit. He said, Young Buck is my man. But he said, man, when I went to the Breakfast Club or when I went on interviews and I looked at their tennis shoes, they was wearing Nikes. They didn't have no G in the shoes on. So 50 was smart enough to know, man, that, you know, these my guys and, you know, but they only here for the ride, you know, and that's why I respect 50. You know, Sha Money was the one that really kind of got me on the tour, you know. So when I didn't see Sha Money no more, I was tripping. But then when I listened to 50 interviews, said Sha Money, you know, he offered him some percentage points, and Sha Money didn't want the percentage point. And he said he couldn't understand why. He said if he would have took the percentage point, he wanted 300,000 or some X amount of money of that nature. He said the Sha Money would have made 10 or 15 million. You know, just the way he think. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then, you know, I used to be kind of apprehensive about being Pimpin' Ken and being a businessman, right? But then I seen how 50 would be 50 and troll people and do his thing and still go out and do major business. Now I'm comfortable with being Pimpin' Ken. I was uncomfortable with being Pimpin' Ken. I'm comfortable with being Pimpin' Ken because 50, you know, showed me that you could still be good and you can be true to yourself and still make good business deals. And then that might explain why I'm working with Simon & Schuster and CBS, who are billion-dollar companies. And I work with a lot of multi-million-dollar companies because I can get on my line now or get on my Instagram. I can kick some game. I can talk slick to the people. And then I can turn around. I can announce a major deal or a major acquisition, just like when I was in New York. Yusef, the dude, he's a city councilman now from Central Park 5. He just gave me a plaque, in the state senate. Sister, I forget her name, but Miss, it's just so. Well, the dude that gave it to me was man. These people, man, they give me so much shit I can't.
You
remember
meet too many people, you can't remember all the names.
No, her name Cadell, Senator Cadell. So she's the state senator of New York. She gave me a pack too. So what I'm saying is that I can deal with them people, or I can send King Moore, my 8-year-old youngest member of the hip hop fraternity, to the White House to meet Kamala Harris. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I can do that, and I can get on my line and then talk some slick shit. That's what 50 taught me. That's what I like about 50. You know what I'm saying? 50 kind of, he
makes sense.
Yeah, he showed me how to be true to myself.
Yeah, I don't know, man. When I think about Beyonce, when the smoke clears, what would Beyonce be?
Well, I think that Beyonce, man, is a loyal wife. I think
that's
my
girl, man.
I wish everybody had a Beyonce.
I got one, but better than Beyonce.
That's what it's all about. A woman staying down with you in the trenches and through whatever. The Bible said, for better or for worse. And that's the type of woman you need, and I think, even though when him and Shalon or whatever her name is, they got into it in the hotel, she stood by her man. When he was accused of having babies out of wedlock, she stood by her man. And I think that a lot of women, and I tell women all the time, I say, you can leave me. You can go be with another man, but you ain't gonna do nothing but catch the same problem, the same hell. And a lot of people don't like what I say. I know it might not be in your case. I said, most men cheat. You know what I'm saying, me? And, if what we saying is true, you know what I'm saying, me, it might have some validity to it, right? Because if they saying that T.D. Jakes slept with another man, they accuse him of cheating on his wife, right? If Minister Farrakhan he did a speech called "The Last Swan." Did you hear that? Probably. Minister Farrakhan said he got several kids out of wedlock. This is what Mr. Farrakhan said. And he said that some of the sisters was jealous because it ain't them. No, this is online. This ain't me. I'm not making
who got all these kids out of wedlock?
Minister Farrakhan, he have other children outside his marriage.
That he has, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But he don't call it cheating. He call them his wives. Elijah Muhammad had wives. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of time, a man have to have other women in his life because I guess he made that way. You know what I'm saying? Women don't have to have a bunch of men, but men sometimes have to deal with a bunch of women. And sometimes because of the ways of the laws and the way we live in a minor, what you call that? Man, my words ain't even coming out. What you call it? Monogamous. Monogamous. Yeah, because we live in a monogamous society, and we ain't not in a polygamous society. It's not accepted. But a lot of great men. What's his name? Martin Luther King. They got tapes of him being with another woman. So we know that this is standard. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, either people being accused, like I said, T.D. Jakes being accused of cheating on his wife, or somebody actually cheating, or somebody justifying it, saying that, it's permissible. But we know that it happens on some level.
Are you with Jay-Z or are you not? Do you think he done it or did he? Did he not or did he do it? Did he or did he not?
I say, I don't believe he did it. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why I don't believe Jay-Z did it is because he just don't seem like the type of person that would have sex in front of another man, and another woman. Jay-Z, he too guarded on his reputation. He's just so smart, on those levels that I don't think that he would put himself out there. It's so shocking to all of us because we never seen his flaws. And this is a major flaw.
Well, how old is Jay-Z?
55.
So he would have been 35 at that time.
He had his stuff together. I remember that. I remember that time.
I was just trying to.
He was
because you
guarded
gotta
at that
think-
time too.
But that's the only reason why I don't think Jay-Z did it, because I can't see him having sex in front of Puffy and another woman. I just can't see him doing that. It's just like, that would be such a major flaw, and that would be, Jay-Z don't seem like the trustworthy person where he would let himself become that vulnerable. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that 100%.
So that's the only reason why I don't think he did it. I'm being real. I made a lot of guesstimations. I made a lot of statements and stuff like that may be controversial, but my most honest opinion is that if he did it, I would literally faint. I would shocked. I'd be shocked.
I feel the same way. I don't
He's too smooth, man.
No,
He too smooth.
He definitely been guarded many years, and he knew, and they've been gunning for him many years.
But you know, Puffy, we kind of got set up for his.
But Puffy just kept saying love and all that.
No, but we've been hearing about Puffy.
But we don't know. We really don't have no concrete evidence.
No, what I'm saying, we've been hearing about Puffy for years. You know, allegations, right? But we never heard no allegations. We never seen Jay-Z flaws. You know what I'm saying? That's why people so shocked. That's why every media covered, because they was like, you know, he's the golden child. You know, he don't do nothing. He's got a, you know, other than him stabbing you know, many years ago and catching that case. You know what I'm saying? He's been pretty much living a squeaky clean life.
Go ahead and give us, where can people get a hold of you, man?
Hey, man, you can follow me at hhfmedia.com. That's my social media site. You know, you also can join the hip hop fraternity there for free. You know, we don't charge. You just get on there, you sign up, and you become a member of the hip hop fraternity. You also can find me at realpimpkin_. If you're a reader and you want to know why so many people love me and adore me and respect me, go get my book, Pimpology, The 48 Laws of Game. I done taught a lot of people through that book. And I got another book called A Study Guide to Winning, The Art of Human Chess. It teaches you about machinations, strategies, manipulation, and how not to get caught up in somebody else's game.
Man, thank you so much for coming on the show. We love you, Pimpin' Ken. It's been another great segment of Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk.
And we out.